First contact deception. The quantum detection array hidden beneath Europa's ice sheet registered the first signs of the Dominion fleet 13 months before they reached Pluto's orbit. Dr. Sarah Chen stood motionless before the holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting the cascade of data that confirmed humanity's long-held suspicions. They weren't alone in the galaxy, and their first visitors weren't coming in peace. Analysis confirms 47 capital ships, she reported to the gathered military leadership in Europa Command's secure chamber. Their energy signatures match the theoretical patterns we've been tracking for the past decade. It's them, the Dominion. Fleet Admiral James Torres nodded grimly. After 20 years of preparing for this moment, the first phase of humanity's greatest deception was about to begin. Initiate Protocol Omega. Let's show our visitors exactly what they expect to see. Across the solar system, humanity's true technological capabilities disappeared behind quantum veils and dimensional shields. Orbital shipyards capable of producing vessels that could bend space-time flickered out of existence. Defense platforms housing weapons that could harness the power of artificial singularities faded into nothing. In their place, carefully crafted holograms and energy signatures painted a picture of a civilization barely capable of reaching their own moon. Broadcast the signal, Torres ordered. Let them think they've caught us unaware. Throughout Earth's cities, the discovery of the approaching alien fleet played out exactly as planned. Telescopes supposedly detected the massive ships by accident. Governments appeared to panic. Military forces scrambled in disorganized patterns. News networks broadcast scenes of chaos and confusion. All of it carefully orchestrated, all of it designed to feed the Dominion's expectations of finding a primitive species ripe for conquest. In a hidden facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, Commander Maya Patel watched the Dominion fleet's approach through sensors that shouldn't exist for centuries by their estimates. They're following the exact course our behavioral models predicted, she reported to her team. Their scans are focusing on our visible infrastructure, satellites, space stations, surface installations, and finding exactly what we want them to find. Her second-in-command added with a tight smile. The deception went deeper than mere technology. For generations, humanity had prepared for this moment, developing technologies along paths that the Dominion would never think to look for. While they mastered faster-than-light travel through brute force manipulation of spacetime, humanity had discovered how to slip between the quantum fabric of reality itself. While they built massive energy weapons that could shatter planets, Earth's scientists had learned to harness the fundamental forces that bound reality together. 3 months after their initial detection, the Dominion fleet entered Mars orbit. Their first transmission broadcast across all frequencies, designed to overwhelm Earth's supposedly primitive communication systems. The alien that appeared on screens across the planet had an almost mechanical appearance, with silver-scaled skin and eyes that gleamed like polished chrome. People of Earth, the transmission began. I am High Commander Vex of the Dominion Fleet. Your world has been chosen for integration into our empire. Resistance would be unfortunate. In the White House Situation Room, President Helena Rodriguez played her part perfectly. Her hands trembled as she gripped the podium, her voice wavering with carefully calculated fear. This is President Rodriguez of the United Earth Government. We request time to discuss your terms. The alien's metallic features shifted in what might have been amusement. You have 1 planetary rotation to prepare your leadership for preliminary negotiations. We have analyzed your military capabilities. They are insufficient for any purpose other than immediate surrender. As the transmission ended, Rodriguez shared a knowing look with her military advisors. Let the Dominion think they have found another easy conquest. Let them grow complacent in their supposed superiority. Humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment, developing technologies and strategies specifically designed to counter an enemy that thought themselves invincible. Deep beneath the lunar surface, in a facility that didn't officially exist, Dr. Chen monitored the quantum signatures of humanity's true fleet. Thousands of ships waited in dimensional pockets throughout the solar system, their crews trained and ready. Advanced AI systems, far beyond anything the Dominion could imagine, coordinated their positions with perfect precision. "They've taken the bait," she reported through the quantum-entangled communication network. "Their fleet is deploying exactly as our simulations predicted. They're not even bothering to look for anything beyond conventional energy signatures." Admiral Torres stood in his command center within Europa's ice, watching the Dominion ships position themselves around Earth. Their formation was impressive, their technology clearly advanced. And yet, they had no idea they were swimming in an ocean of human warships, hidden behind technology that violated physics as they understood it. "Maintain Protocol Omega," he ordered. "Let them think they're dealing with a primitive species barely capable of reaching their own moon. Let them grow comfortable in their superiority. When the time comes, they'll learn that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology. It's our patience." As Earth's government scrambled to arrange emergency meetings and its militaries made a show of mobilizing outdated forces, humanity's true power waited silently in the void. The Dominion had come expecting to find easy prey. Instead, they had walked into a trap centuries in the making, orchestrated by a species that had turned deception into an art form. The first act of humanity's greatest performance was about to begin, and not a single being in the Dominion fleet suspected they were actually the audience. Shadows in the void. The first week of negotiations unfolded exactly as humanity had planned. In the United Nations Assembly Hall, Earth's representatives played their roles with masterful precision, appearing appropriately awed by Dominion technology, while displaying just enough spine to be believable. Captain Aria Zhang watched the proceedings through quantum-linked feeds from her command chair aboard the Phantom Dawn, her ship floating invisible less than a kilometer from the Dominion's flagship. The massive alien vessel stretched nearly 3 kilometers in length, its silver-scaled hull bristling with weapon systems that could reduce a planet to ash. And yet, for all its impressive technology, it couldn't detect the human warship practically within touching distance. Quantum shell holding steady at 99.99% efficiency, her science officer, Dr. David Nash, reported quietly. "They're still scanning on conventional frequencies only. No sign they've even theorized the possibility of dimensional phasing." Zhang allowed herself a small smile. The Dominion's arrogance was their greatest weakness. They were so convinced of their technological superiority that they never thought to look beyond their understanding of physics. Humanity, on the other hand, had spent generations developing technologies that operated on principles the Dominion hadn't even discovered. In the assembly hall, High Commander Vex was lecturing Earth's leaders about the benefits of Dominion rule. "Your species shows promise." The alien's mechanical voice reverberated through the chamber. "Under our guidance, you might achieve in centuries what would take millennia on your own." Dr. Sarah Chen, now playing the role of Earth's chief scientific advisor, managed to look both intimidated and grateful. "We are honored by your assessment, High Commander. Though I must ask about your energy generation methods. Our primitive fusion experiments." "Fusion?" Vex's chrome eyes flickered with what might have been amusement. "You still rely on such basic principles. The Dominion mastered quantum flux drives millennia ago." In her hidden command center beneath Europa's ice, Dr. Chen's true self smiled at the irony. The Dominion's quantum flux drives were impressive, but humanity had moved beyond such brute force approaches to energy generation decades ago. Their dimensional tap generators drew power directly from the space between realities, providing nearly limitless energy with zero detectable emissions. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet maintained their perfect vigil. In the asteroid belt, Commander Marcus Wong coordinated the movements of over 300 stealth vessels, each one capable of outgunning the Dominion capital ship. Near Saturn's rings, Vice Admiral Diana Patel's task force conducted silent war games, perfecting the tactics they would eventually use against their unsuspecting visitors. "Another sensor sweep incoming," Dr. Nash announced aboard the Phantom Dawn. "They're increasing power to their detection arrays." Captain Zhang remained perfectly calm as the wave of scanning energy passed through her ship. The Dominion sensors were searching for traditional signs of technology: electromagnetic emissions, gravitational distortions, thermal signatures. They found nothing because humanity's stealth systems operated on principles they couldn't comprehend. In a secure bunker beneath Mount Fuji, General Hiroshi Tanaka reviewed the latest intelligence gathered by humanity's quantum observation networks. Every moment of Dominion activity was being recorded, analyzed, and added to battle plans centuries in the making. Their weapons, their shields, their communication systems, all of it was being dissected by AIs far more advanced than anything the aliens could imagine. They're beginning to establish their first surface outpost, Tanaka reported through the quantum network. Location matches our predictions exactly. Isolated enough to seem respectful of our sovereignty, but positioned perfectly for a rapid military deployment. Admiral Torres' response came instantly through the quantum link. Let them build. Every facility they construct is another anchor point for their fleet. When the time comes, it will make targeting that much easier. As the days passed, the Dominion grew increasingly comfortable with their apparent dominance of the situation. Their ships settled into predictable patrol patterns. Their sensor sweeps became routine rather than thorough. They began transferring personnel to Earth's surface, establishing diplomatic missions that were thinly veiled military command posts. And through it all, humanity's hidden fleet grew stronger. In secret shipyards throughout the solar system, new vessels were birthed into dimensional shadows. Combat simulations ran constantly, incorporating every scrap of data gathered about Dominion capabilities. The quantum AI networks refined their battle plans, calculating victory probabilities to 15 decimal places. They're exactly where we want them, Captain Zhang reported after another week of close-range observation. Their guard drops a little more each day. They see exactly what we want them to see, a primitive species struggling to comprehend their magnificent technology. In the Europa Command Center, Admiral Torres reviewed the latest status reports from Earth's hidden forces. Everything was proceeding according to plan. The Dominion's overconfidence was leading them precisely into humanity's trap. Soon, they would learn that their supposedly primitive cousins had surpassed them centuries ago. Continue Protocol Omega, he ordered. Let them think they're dealing with children playing with toys. When the time comes, they'll learn that humanity's greatest achievement wasn't our technology, it was our ability to hide it. In the void between worlds, humanity's invisible armada waited with infinite patience. The Dominion thought they were the masters of space, the pinnacle of technological achievement. They were about to learn that true power lies not in the ability to dominate, but in the wisdom to wait for the perfect moment to strike. The Web Titans, 1 month into the Dominion's peaceful integration of Earth, their true intentions began to surface. In a private meeting with Earth's Security Council, High Commander Vex outlined the next phase of their plans. Your military forces will be dissolved, the chrome-eyed alien announced without preamble. They will be replaced by Dominion peacekeepers. This is non-negotiable. Admiral Torres, attending via holographic projection from what the Dominion believed was a primitive command center in Geneva, played his part perfectly. But our forces help maintain civil order. Surely some small security presence will not be necessary. Vex cut him off. The Dominion provides all the security its protectorates require. Your cooperation in this matter is expected within 7 planetary rotations. In her real command center beneath Europa's ice, Dr. Chen watched the exchange through quantum feeds. They're moving faster than expected, she noted to her staff. Behavioral analysis suggests increasing aggression patterns. Good, Admiral Torres replied through their secure link. The more aggressive they become, the more they'll commit to their invasion plans. Update all fleet commanders. Accelerate final preparation protocols. Aboard the Phantom Dawn, still hovering unseen near the Dominion flagship, Captain Zhang received the update. Her crew had spent weeks studying the aliens' every move, mapping their response patterns, identifying weaknesses in their supposedly impenetrable defenses. They're deploying their ground forces earlier than projected. Her tactical officer, Lieutenant Ravi Mehta reported. Preliminary landing zones established in every major population center. Zhang nodded, watching through quantum sensors as Dominion dropships descended through Earth's atmosphere. Each vessel carried troops and weapons meant to subjugate humanity. None of them realized they were being tracked by targeting systems that could vaporize them between heartbeats. In his hidden facility beneath Mount Fuji, General Tanaka coordinated with resistance cells that the Dominion didn't know existed. Every landing zone was under constant surveillance. Every alien patrol was shadowed by operatives using stealth technology that bent light and gravity itself. Their troops are getting careless, he reported through the quantum network. They're not even bothering to scan for surveillance anymore. Their arrogance is making this almost too easy. The Dominion's next demand came 3 days later. All of Earth's communication systems would be replaced by Dominion technology. For security purposes, they claimed, to help integrate Earth into their grand empire. Dr. Chen's team analyzed the alien devices they were ordered to install. The results confirmed their suspicions. Each unit contains sophisticated control protocols designed to suppress rebellion through direct neural interference. They think we can't detect the quantum signature of their control field, she reported to Admiral Torres. They have no idea our quantum shielding technology surpassed theirs centuries ago. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet continued their silent preparation. In the asteroid belt, Commander Wang's ships conducted precision firing drills using miniaturized versions of the Dominion's weapons. Near Saturn, Vice Admiral Patel's forces perfected their dimensional phase attacks, practicing maneuvers that would seem impossible by the aliens' understanding of physics. All task forces report ready, Torres announced through the quantum network. Final position assignments are being transmitted. When the order comes, I want every Dominion ship targeted simultaneously. The aliens' next move proved exactly why humanity had chosen patience over confrontation. Without warning, their ships began deploying massive energy collectors in orbit around Earth. The devices, each one large enough to shadow a city, were supposedly meant to help upgrade Earth's primitive power grid. In reality, they were planet crackers, weapons capable of draining a world's geothermal energy until its core collapsed. The Dominion had used them before, turning rebellious worlds into lifeless husks as examples to others who might resist their rule. Energy collectors at 40% deployment, Lieutenant Mehta reported from the Phantom Dawn. Their power signatures match exactly with the theoretical models we developed from long-range observations of their previous conquests. Captain Zhang watched through her quantum sensors as another collector took position over North America. They still think we're blind to their true purpose. Update targeting priorities. Those collectors need to be the first things we take out when we move. In the Europa Command Center, Admiral Torres received reports from every hidden base and vessel in the solar system. Humanity's trap was almost ready to spring. The Dominion had committed most of their invasion force, convinced of their absolute superiority over their primitive cousins. All fleet commanders acknowledge. He broadcast through the quantum network. Phase 1 of Protocol Omega is complete. Begin Phase 2 preparations. When the signal comes, I want every ship ready to emerge from dimensional shadow simultaneously. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility that didn't officially exist, the quantum AI networks calculated the final probability matrices. Success rate, 99.98%. The remaining 0.02% accounted for factors even their advanced systems couldn't predict. The Dominion thought they were conquering a primitive species barely capable of interplanetary travel. They were about to learn that humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment, developing technologies and strategies specifically designed to counter an enemy that thought themselves invincible. Let them finish deploying their collectors, Torres ordered. Let them think their victory is assured. In 3 days, they'll learn that humanity's greatest weapon isn't our technology. It's our ability to make our enemies defeat themselves. Throughout the solar system, in dimensional pockets and quantum shadows, humanity's true fleet waited for the signal to strike. The Dominion's overconfidence had led them exactly where Earth's defenders wanted them. Soon, very soon, the aliens would learn the true cost of underestimating humanity. Breaking point. The turning point came without warning. High Commander Vex summoned Earth's Leadership Council to their orbital command station, ostensibly for a routine progress review. Dr. Chen, still playing her role as humanity's chief scientific advisor, noticed something different in the aliens' chrome-like eyes as soon as they entered the conference chamber. "Your species' cooperation has been adequate," Vex announced, his mechanical voice carrying an edge they hadn't heard before. "However, we have detected concerning anomalies in your planet's power grid. For your own protection, we must accelerate the integration timeline." Through her quantum implants, Dr. Chen sent a silent alert to Admiral Torres. The Dominion had finally shown their hand. Their protection meant completing their planet cracker network ahead of schedule. Acceleration? President Rodriguez asked, her carefully maintained facade of nervousness now genuine seeming. "But our populations are still adjusting to your presence. Too much change too quickly could lead to unrest." Vex's chrome eyes flickered. "Unrest will not be tolerated. The Dominion's patience has limits. You have 12 hours to prepare your world for full integration. After that, we will proceed with or without your cooperation." In the Europa Command Center, Admiral Torres received Chen's alert along with real-time analysis from the quantum AI networks. The Dominion's behavior matched their historical patterns perfectly, the final warning before they began their standard subjugation protocol. "All fleet commanders, Priority 1 alert," he broadcast through the quantum network. "Dominion forces are accelerating their timeline. Prepare for possible early engagement." Aboard the Phantom Dawn, Captain John watched through quantum sensors as the alien fleet began shifting into attack formations. Their movements were precise, practiced. They had done this many times before. "Energy readings from their planet crackers are spiking," Lieutenant Meta reported. "They're charging their primary systems." Zhang's expression remained calm as she updated her crew. "This is what we've trained for. Maintain quantum shell integrity. Let them think they still have the element of surprise." Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet received the alert and began final battle preparations. In the asteroid belt, Commander Wang's ships synchronized their targeting systems with the quantum AI networks. Near Saturn, Vice Admiral Patel's task force moved into strike position, their dimensional phase drives ready to tear holes in reality itself. The Dominion's next move confirmed humanity's worst-case scenarios. Without warning, their ground forces began seizing control of major population centers. Dropships descended from orbit, disgorging troops and combat machines. Their energy weapons fired warning shots into the sky, herding terrified civilians into containment zones. Multiple invasion forces detected, General Tanaka reported from his Mount Fuji command center. They're following standard conquest protocols, securing strategic locations first, then expanding outward. Dr. Chen, still aboard the Dominion command station, watched through her quantum feeds as the aliens' true nature revealed itself. Their chrome-scaled troops moved with mechanical efficiency, their weapons ready to fire on anyone who resisted. "Your world's transition begins now," Vex announced to the assembled human leaders. "Cooperation will minimize casualties. Resistance will not be tolerated." In the Europa facility, Admiral Torres received updates from every hidden base and vessel in the solar system. The Dominion had committed their forces exactly as predicted, convinced they were dealing with a helpless primitive species. "All fleet commanders acknowledge," he broadcast. "Operation Thunderbolt is now in effect. Synchronize quantum drives and targeting systems. When I give the signal, I want every Dominion ship bracketed by at least 3 of ours." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the quantum AI networks calculated final attack vectors. Success probability had actually increased to 99.99%. The Dominion's aggressive move had made them even more vulnerable to humanity's trap. Captain John watched from the Phantom Dawn as more Dominion ships moved into attack position around Earth. Their arrogance was astounding. They hadn't even bothered to maintain proper combat spacing, confident that no primitive human weapons could threaten them. "They're powering up their main weapon systems," Lieutenant Meta reported. Energy signatures matched their planetary bombardment protocols. In his Mount Fuji bunker, General Tanaka coordinated with resistance cells across the globe. Every Dominion ground force was being tracked by operatives using technology that made them invisible to even the aliens' most advanced sensors. "All planetary defense units in position," he reported through the quantum network. "Ready to engage on your command, Admiral." The moment of truth approached as the Dominion prepared to demonstrate their power. Their planet crackers hummed with energy, ready to begin draining Earth's core. Their ships moved into bombardment formation, weapons charged to reduce any resistance to ash. "Let them make the first move," Torres ordered. "Let them think their victory is absolute. In 1 hour, they'll learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons. It's our ability to strike when our enemies least expect it." Throughout the solar system, in quantum shadows and dimensional pockets, humanity's true fleet waited for the signal. Thousands of ships, each one carrying weapons that violated physics as the Dominion understood it, prepared to reveal themselves. The aliens thought they were about to crush another primitive civilization. Instead, they had walked into the most elaborate trap in human history. Soon, very soon, the Dominion would learn the true cost of their arrogance. Emergence. High Commander Vex stood before the massive view screen on his flagship's bridge, watching with satisfaction as his forces secured another primitive world. Earth's pitiful military vessels had already been neutralized, their outdated weapons useless against Dominion shields. Now their ground forces were being systematically disarmed and contained. "Begin charging the planetary conversion network," he ordered. "Let these humans witness true power before we—" His words cut off as every sensor array on his ship suddenly screamed warnings. Space itself seemed to ripple and tear around his fleet as thousands of quantum signatures burst into existence simultaneously. Aboard the Phantom Dawn, Captain Zhang allowed herself a fierce smile as she gave the order humanity had waited generations to deliver. "All ships, disengage quantum shells. Weapons free. Show them what humanity can really do." Throughout the solar system, Earth's hidden fleet emerged from dimensional shadow. Sleek warships, far more advanced than anything the Dominion had ever encountered, appeared in perfect attack formation. Each vessel carried weapons specifically designed to exploit weaknesses in alien technology that the Dominion didn't even know they had. "Impossible." Vex's mechanical voice actually cracked as new sensor data flooded his screens. Where moments before there had been empty space, now there were human ships, thousands of them, and their energy signatures. "These readings cannot be correct. Their technology is far beyond yours." Admiral Torres's voice cut through every Dominion communication channel. He stood on the bridge of his flagship as it phased into normal space, less than a kilometer from Vex's command vessel. "You thought you found a primitive species barely capable of reaching their own moon. Instead, you walked into a trap centuries in the making." The first shots of the battle were fired before the Dominion could even bring their weapons to bear. Quantum-tipped missiles phased through their supposedly impenetrable shields, detonating directly against their hulls. Dimensional lance beams sliced through their armor like it was paper, guided by targeting systems that could track a dust particle across the solar system. "All ships, execute attack pattern Omega," Torres commanded. "Take out those planet crackers first." Near Saturn, Vice Admiral Patel's task force unleashed their dimensional phase drives. Reality itself seemed to scream as her ships tore holes in spacetime, emerging inside the Dominion's defensive formations. Their weapons fired with surgical precision, destroying the planet crackers before they could even begin their devastating work. In the asteroid belt, Commander Wang's vessels demonstrated why humanity had spent so long studying Dominion technology. Their weapons matched the exact frequency of the alien shield harmonics, bypassing their defenses completely. Dominion ships began exploding like miniature suns as their own energy systems were turned against them. "How?" Vex demanded as his fleet was systematically torn apart. Your species. You were primitive. We saw your technology. You saw what we wanted you to see, Dr. Chen replied through the quantum network. She stood on the bridge of her own command vessel now, her role as humanity's bumbling scientific advisor finally discarded. While you were counting our satellites and laughing at our fusion experiments, we were studying your every weakness, learning how to defeat technology you thought was invincible. On Earth's surface, the Dominion ground forces discovered too late that they were the ones who had been surrounded. General Tanaka's resistance cells emerged from quantum shadows, wielding weapons that made the aliens' energy rifles look like children's toys. Humanity's stolen march was complete. All Dominion forces, stand down immediately. Torres broadcast. Your shields cannot stop our weapons. Your sensors cannot track our ships. You have exactly one chance to surrender. Aboard his flagship, Vex watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by the supposedly primitive humans. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds were being destroyed by weapons that shouldn't exist. Technology that had made the Dominion masters of space proved useless against humanity's quantum-based systems. How long? He finally asked, his chrome eyes dimming in defeat. How long have you been preparing for this? Generations, Torres replied simply. We detected your empire's expansion centuries ago. While you were congratulating yourselves on your supposed superiority, we were developing technologies specifically designed to counter yours. Every ship, every weapon, every strategy was created for this moment. The battle ended as quickly as it began. With their fleet in ruins and their ground forces surrounded, the Dominion had no choice but to surrender. Humanity's deception was complete. Send word to your empire. Torres commanded as Dominion crews were taken into custody. Earth is not to be trifled with. We are not primitive, we are not weak, and we are not alone. There are other species out there who have been waiting for someone to stand up to your tyranny. Today, humanity leads that stand. As the sun rose over Earth the next morning, humanity's true fleet hung proudly in orbit, no longer hidden in quantum shadows. The Dominion's mighty empire had finally met its match, not in superior numbers or brute force, but in a species that had turned patience and deception into an art form. Begin Phase 2, Torres ordered through the quantum network. It's time to help those other worlds the Dominion subjugated. Today, we showed them that their empire isn't invincible. Tomorrow, we show the galaxy that humanity stands for something more than conquest. The age of hiding was over. The age of humanity had begun.